Good morning. Welcome to Subramani. So one thing which is happening is I met an 82-year-old man, or must be 83, and he lives in the same colony where I live. Luckily, his wife has got a good pension, and I asked him. In fact, he asked me that what should I be doing with my portfolio. That's how most of my conversations go. He's an 82-year-old, extremely alert, has an active portfolio on which he does keeps doing something. He used to do F&O, but he has stopped it. But yeah, something keeps happening in his life. So he said something very sensible. He said in 2008, I lost a lot of money on my portfolio, and I was very worried as to what would happen to the money, whether it will last enough for my lifetime. And I started worrying so much that I could not sleep in the night, and getting up in I could not get sleep, and if I got up I could not go back to sleep. So I worried a lot about my portfolio in 2008, and then in 2009, 2010, the portfolio recovered very well, dramatically. My wife's pension went up because of the pay commissions. Now I am more comfortable. He's about, like I said, he's about 83 years of age. Now, if you have a portfolio which does not allow you to sleep at night for whatever period, maybe 6 months, maybe before the coronavirus hit, you had a lot of money in equity. You saw that in the month of March, equities went down. Then you found, luckily for yourself, that it recovered in April. And then the market has not really done too badly, but it has been a concentrated jump. So don't look at only the index, look at your own portfolio. For example, if you have a portfolio which did not have Reliance Industries at all in some portion, your portfolio may not have done too well. If you had some of those fertilizer shares, some of those two-wheeler shares, some of those suppliers to two-wheeler shares, so it's a very narrow range in which the market has moved, and you may not have participated in that at all. Some pharma companies have done very well, but the cash flows don't seem to be too good for pharma companies. Obviously, Reliance has done well more as a technology company than as an oil company. So, if you had oil companies, you have not done well. If you had technology companies, you have not done too badly. If you had invested in US and if you had invested in gold, you have done well, but that does not mean all of us did it. If you had invested in one particular fund house which is not allowing you to withdraw the money, yes, you are in greater, you have to worry more because you don't have your regular cash flow. But this man did not have any of those problems, right? After the recovery 2010, 2011 and 2012, his IFA had reallocated some of his assets into debt instruments. So to that extent, he was well off, and some of the money he had withdrawn also when the equity markets had gone up to spend on something else, but he had also bought an annuity for himself. So he was protected. But yes, this worry about how is your portfolio doing, if it keeps you occupied at night, please go and see a financial advisor. Take your time in choosing a financial advisor, but then check out what are the risks that you run. What are the risks that you run if you are 82 years of age and you have a portfolio? You still have to worry about inflation because you could live long, your wife could live long. If you are 84, 83, 84, good chance that your wife is about 80 and she could live till the age of 100. So you still have a 20-year portfolio to worry about. So you need some protection against inflation, but that can be a small percentage. About 20% of your money being in an index fund or something like that may be good enough for you. If you need the cash flow from don't expect cash flow from the equity fund. Simply doesn't make sense to withdraw from an asset which is widely fluctuating, right? So take some money off equity even today at today's prices and keep it in a ultra short bond fund from which you can withdraw on a regular basis. Or you can say, I will withdraw on a basis that only when I need extra money. Right now I will live off my annuities which my wife and I are getting, and some bank fixed deposit interest. Both have money in senior citizen account. So I will just live off that. In case I need money, I will go and touch my equity fund, because equity fund is not doing too great. However, in a year when equity fund does a 40% kind of a jump, I will take money off and maybe buy another annuity or put it into a liquid fund and withdraw from that, right? So make sure that your portfolio lets you sleep. That's important. That is what your IFA should do for you. And after a particular age, you're better off bringing a younger person to be handling your portfolio along with you. A nephew, niece, a son, daughter, a good IFA, anybody, but somebody along with you, so that you can talk to that person before doing anything. That mentor, obviously, you will find a younger mentor who will be able to dissuade you from doing something in a panic. A 82-year-old can always have a 60-year-old mentor, right? So a guy, the mentor also has experience, and he will also hold your hand and say, don't do this, market will recover, or just sell off, we do not know what the market is doing. Both, you need somebody to talk with. It cannot be completely electronic. Uh, so if you have a portfolio which is giving you pain, either you can sit and bear the pain or take action now, or you can say, I will take action as and when the market recovers. So that this nightly visits to the bathroom and nightly sitting up and disturbing your spouse doesn't make any sense. Involve your spouse so that she also understands what you're doing and why you're doing. And suddenly, if she says, why do you want to do all this? Why don't you keep everything in an annuity or a bank FD, which is simpler for me to understand? By all means, do it. Leave only a small portion in one index fund or something like that. That may be good enough to take care of inflation, especially if you're 83, 84 years of age. If you saw half your retirement corpus being wiped out by one fall in 2008 or one fall in the March of 2020, it just means you have too much money in equity and you may not need it. That's far more important. Risk is something which you should be, is the amount of risk you can take, is a function of how much risk you can afford to take and how much of risk you must take. At the age of 84, with two pensions, out of which one is indexed, I think the need to take risk may be vanishing very quickly for you. So you have less money in equity, it means you will sleep better at night, right? So check what portfolio you need for breakfast. Have a good breakfast, eat well, sleep well, and if the portfolio asset allocation does not allow that, your asset allocation should be based on factors other than short-term volatility. Don't worry too much about the short-term volatility, but if that is worrying you, keep your volatile portfolio in a different place and keep your non-volatile portfolio in a different place. So whenever you want, you look at your non-volatile portfolio and ask yourself, is there enough money to last another 5, 7, 10 years? And if the answer is yes, then you don't even have to look at your volatile portfolio. Once in a while, look at your volatile portfolio and say, well, if I were to die 15 years later, will I be able to take some money out from here and buy another annuity? If the answer is yes, just go to sleep. That's far more important. Your sleep is more important than your portfolio. But if your portfolio does not let you sleep, be careful. Thank you.